I've been actually fearing this. There's something special about lives because you're basically forced to do what you say you do. So, I'm not sure how to put this because I've never said this before. Not like this, not like how I want to say this. But there's a lot of things that is happening right now, and I think it's our duty to speak up. And I actually saw a post today it spoke towards that goal, towards that intention, because I rarely go onto social media if it is not for creating something. And as I came over this, it said that we are probably the last generation that has the ability to speak up, to stop, to revolt, to rebel. That humanity is basically being robotized, automated. Yeah, automated. Let's go for automated. That's a good word, right? And I think that's true because we have created so many things to further our comfortability and our laziness sometimes, and our efficiency, our profit margins, all that stuff. And so 3 days ago, just about, I learned that Amazon is using a new app. And this app is basically hiring and firing people. When I saw that, first I thought, well, I mean, we could expect as much, right? When it comes to a corporation this big, then they would want to automate a lot of stuff. The thing is, when they automate that part in particular, taking away the humanity of hiring someone, like, yes, you might be a good fit for our company. I want to help you. You seem like you will be of value because you have all that it takes, and you seem like a good guy. Or a girl. An algorithm cannot do that. An algorithm basically goes off data. So let's say that the CV was delivered with holes in them, or whatever the data stream they use to measure these things on. So let's say that they just rule out a lot of people before they even get into the job, just because there was some little malfunction, and let's just call it as it is. It would be a little error in the code of the algorithm if they didn't get the job first off. And then when they get the job, if they run a delivery route a little bit slower, because maybe there was a bus of children burning and these children who happen to be orphans or something, the algorithm sees that, you spent 13 minutes and 23 seconds more on this delivery route, so you're fired. And I wonder, how does that work? You just get the push notification in your phone, like, you're fired, with a little Trump emoji on it. You see, we so many things are just going in the wrong way, where we're trying to make things more efficient, but we're just removing the whole human aspect of everything. Meanwhile, as this is happening, I'm aware that I kind of just jumped straight into this time, but meanwhile, as this is happening on Earth, the founder, the owner of Amazon, is heading to space. In 2 days, he is about to get shot out to space with his brother, whom he wants to share this lifelong dream with. Good on him. Cool. What I really don't like, though, is that he got 3 point something billion in subsidies from the government to do this. The trip is 4 minutes long in actual space. And to think that he couldn't pay that money from himself, like, why would the government even start to support it? Is my problem with it. Like, when you have so much money, why would you need billions of dollars to take a little trip into space with your brother while your workers is wearing diapers to work because they just get 2 30-minute breaks during a 10-hour shift, when the working conditions are so horrible that it is just commonly known in the entire world? And here he is on a fucking rocket. Now, on that part in general, like, the fact that he's going to space is interesting in itself, because just a few days ago, Richard Branson was in space. on Virgin Galactic. So now we are taking people to space. That's cool. I guess the seats are a few million pop, but what happens now is that space is uncharted territory. We have not laid claim to it. There was a treaty when the first space race were going on, and they kind of just went away from it. I don't know what happened, but Russia, China, the US, everyone was in this treaty that, okay, space, no one lays claim to space, because how could you do that? But now, Amazon is going to space. Elon Musk creating Neuralink. I'm saying that if this was only to cure Alzheimer's or to help with limbs in the body, I don't know. If you don't know what Neuralink is, it is the Bluetoothification of your brain. All right? They will probe your brain with an actual hardware that has small probes into your neurons that will fire electromagnetic pulses to simulate these responses, these signals that we create with our brain, so that you can actually regain movement in paralyzed limbs and regain consciousness or memory or, cure, heal. But think about that. With everything that is going on, where big tech is basically hoarding all your data, the algorithm knows what you're going to do way before you know what's going to happen. They know your psychological profile so well that they know exactly what you're going to do, simply because of your patterns. And we are habitual creatures. I have said this before. We are going through 60, 70,000 thoughts every day, and 95% just gets carried over, right? That's the algorithm. What if you had a physical freaking hardwired object in your brain? Now, I'm bringing these things up because it's really interesting to think that this is happening now. The internet is still in its infancy. We have no idea where this is going to take us. We just know that the past 20 years has been almost like a miracle. Who could predict what would happen in the latest 20 years? Since the 90s. I mean, we are in a space age. We are literally miracle beings. This little thing holds all the power in the world for those people who wants to use it for that. I mean, we have never been at a place where it's more appropriate to go up to people and say, what do you want with your reality? We need to choose. We need to say that we have a problem with these things that is happening. I'm not saying ban technology, but the technology is just one thing that is interesting to see, that we are creating these things now. And with Moore's law, that hardware and technology will just continue to grow exponentially every 2 to 4 years. Imagine what that would look like in 10 years, in 15 years. These things are not going to stop. Amazon, Facebook, all these things, they're not going to, stop working. We're in this war. It's literally a war now, because we have two sides. On many aspects, there's so many different sides and classes now. You have the spiritual and the capitalists. Maybe there's some spiritual capitalists too, but you know what I mean. The money-driven, egocentric profit people. The love and the spiritual people. The people who want something for the future of them and everyone else on the planet. The people who want something for themselves right now. You have the vaccinated. You have the unvaccinated. You have the politicians or the politically inclined people. You have those people who don't really care about politics at all, because look at it. I mean, my own prime minister, and this is really bugging me. It's still bugging me. When this whole thing happened, when Norway started this little lockdown thing, where it just said, stay home, don't go to your cabin, don't travel, stay home, stay safe. I'm not sure if it was 2 days later where that woman was standing in front of national news saying, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for breaking my own rules. See, that some people would kind of laugh of that. Just, I forgive you. You're good. I'm not gonna... Everyone could make mistakes. A leader should lead with example, right? A leader should actually follow their own treaties, rules. When that doesn't happen, it kind of sends a very clear picture to the rest of the world. And that's just one. Boris Johnson. I mean, the dude was photographed having a fucking barbecue while he's saying, stay safe. Social distance. It's laughable. What we're up against is laughable. I don't watch the news. What I see is either being sent to me, or I see something in my peripheral vision, or I hear someone talking about it on the streets. When I actually go in to see, when I want research, when I want to see, okay, this can't be right, and I try to look it up, and I see the state of the world right now, I'm amazed. I am amazed. We have greenwashing. Where, you know, freaking plastic straws, right? The plastic straws used in fast food restaurants and all that stuff, they changed that out. Good on you. Now we have paper straws. Well, according to this very, very fascinating documentary that I saw called 𝐶spiracy, straws is the least of the problem. I'm not sure, but I think it was counted for 0.3% or something of the actual problem. When the actual problem was the fishing nets. And that the fishing nets were left behind from the people who's overfishing our oceans and trawling all over the ocean floor, ruining the reefs and all these things at a massive scale, killing the top of the food chain, the sharks for shark fin soup, which I'm told tastes horrible, and killing this off, right? When you kill off the top of the food chain, the second level will eat itself to fill that void. And when that eats more than it could chew because it gets overpopulated, you know, the second layer will not have anything to control them. And so that just continues to grow. And now that will just continue to happen as we continue to fish more and we fuck up the ecology or the ecosystem and the food chains all over the world. We're literally just fucking up everything. And by the numbers, we're dead by 2048 if we don't do anything, because we would have killed off the ocean. Because when we have killed off the top, and that has eaten itself down to the plankton, which is creating a freaking oxygen, we're literally just, we're sabotaging our own life support system. It's amazing, isn't it? Just thinking that this is actually happening right now. Where you post, and this is interesting because the media has always been out for our best interest, right? Everyone can agree that the media, they want our well-being. They want us to be safe. I'm shaking. I'm seeing these, I'm usually getting tagged and being sent these articles. Usually about the vaccine and what the pandemic is doing right now. To be honest, I have not been following this at all. I just know the effects, the psychological effects of fear and stuff that people are living in every fucking day. People are driving around alone in their cars with a fucking mask on. The thing is, you're watching these comment sections and you see that people are sharing their opinions, sharing their voices, you know, liberty, freedom of speech, something that we should have had. And the media companies will go in there and either delete them or they will have someone posting to counter the comment. And I've heard several instances where they have checked out the person commenting and they can see the direct link to the news house, the media house. I don't know why. I just know that more people are awakening right now. And I believe that is our job to just say, fuck off. Stop it. Everyone is entitled to their own opinion. Everyone is entitled to doing what they want to do regarding taking this thing or not. The vaccine, I don't have any problems with people taking the vaccine. Although I think it is a stupid thing if you're doing it to enjoy the tax-free when you're going on vacation. Because, and literally, I heard that. I was fortunate enough to stand behind some people saying why they wanted to take the vaccine. It was to travel, to finally be able to go into the tax-free and buy booze. When the short-sightedness, the ignorance is at that level, we have a fucking responsibility. Because people don't know. And people don't know what they don't know. today I actually wrote a paragraphical comment. Again, usually when I start to see these things and I want to raise my opinion, I tend to go all in. I don't know why. I want to write just a few phrases, and then all of a sudden, here I am. Shit. This could be a blog post, you know? And I see some people would say that I agree with you. Some people would say I disagree with you. That's awesome. But when you see the people that is ridiculing you, that is trying to make you feel stupid because, you know, you have opinions, and you see why, we have a fucking responsibility. The school system is clearly not doing its job. It's clearly not creating critical thinkers out there. There are so many people in need of seeing that they are living in a finite reality. We have every opportunity to create the reality that we want simply by changing habits. But people don't want to do that because that requires work. You know, I work in the personal development industry. I speak to a lot of people. And by golly, if that is a phrase I could use, I would say that 70, maybe 80% of the people I talk to is so severely victimized by their conditioning, by their realities that they have been taught, that it is not even funny. I'm listening to them talk, and they're saying that they cannot advance, they can't do this, they can't do that, simply because something either happened in their past, or they don't believe that they can, or because the system is out to get them, or something. There's always something. And if you counter the somethings, you always get served up with a new something. There are so many severely victimized people in the world right now that we should, you know, I don't know how. I don't know what we should do. Just continue to share what we know, I guess. Just tell people that it is possible. It is possible to be happy in a pandemic. It's possible to figure out who you truly are. It's possible to look at yourself and see, yes, this is what I'm good at. I should probably follow that. Instead, people are doing these meaningless jobs that they hate. And again, I don't have a problem with people having jobs, but when they complain about it, and when what they do on the free time is just drinking and watching Netflix, then I have a problem with that. Then you are not entitled to complain. You're not allowed. There should be a moral embedded code in you that says that it's not cool to complain about something that you have every chance to fix yourself, and you are choosing not to do it. Because we all have the choice to do something that enlightens us, that creates, that fulfills us. Because when you do something that is not creative, that is just you going through the rhythmic, the robotic motions of every day, where nothing changes, you're just reliving the same day, week, month, year after year, and calling it a life. It's not cool. You know, your brain just dies off. All of a sudden, you have everything just working on your left hemisphere. Everything is just analytical, and everything is just habits and stuff, but you have no creativity. And I'm saying this because when I'm talking to people, and I ask them, what do you do to express yourself? What do you do to see what you can create? What is your hobby? What do you love? Do you draw? Do you play music? Do you sing? Do you jerk off in a rhythmic sense? I don't know what the fuck you could do, but you can. There's a lot of things you could do that is creative, that expresses yourself. Again, 70 to 80% of the people have nothing. They don't do it. They weren't taught this. Because in school, we are taught to regurgitate all old information. We're told to study and repeat and just read and reread and then just, you know, barf this information out onto a censor or is it called a censor in the US too? I'm not sure. This dude that is just taking the test and saying, did you approve or did you pass or did you fail? You know, we're just studying for that one test, and then just scientifically we're losing, what is it, 50% of what we learned within 24 hours of learning it. And in school we're just studying for each individual test. We don't learn how to learn. We don't figure out how to find ourselves. We don't figure out how to read. There are so many things that we just get sabotaged on. You know, and then when that happens, When we are about to get into the working life, when we're about to quit school, our brains are already creatively barren. How do you change that? Because you do not know what you do not know until life comes around and just... There you go. This is reality. Here's some depression. Here's some anxiety. I'm not going to tell you why you feel like this, but you're going to feel it, and you're going to feel it hard. And you were never taught how to get over those emotions. You were never taught how to see yourself for what you truly are. You were never taught that right now you have every fucking possibility, infinite possibilities, to do whatever the fuck you want. Plant a seed that will last into the future, or take the wisdom of the past, the experiences that you have led through, that has given you all of these knowledge because you went through the shit. Taking it from the past, applying it to the present to create fuel for the future. Right? But instead, people are just applying an anchor to what happened in the past. For you watching this on a TV or a phone, I'm sorry, it looks like I'm pointing in the wrong direction, right? The past should be that way. So, I'm not sure. I'm not sure how to do what I do, because I've been trying to censor myself for so long. I've been trying to hold myself back. And yesterday, I actually had an energy session, an energy therapy session. This session opened up a brand new world for me. Let's just be honest. I mean, I've been studying personal development. I've been studying quantum physics and consciousness and expanding these things and seeing how I can find myself, right? When I started to see results, I was like, holy shit, this is actually working. But I never got into the energetic part of it. And then I had the visitor from the tribe, and we talked a lot about energy. And that made me think and see and experience things differently. I was aware. I was feeling this emotion, like when you feel depressed, or if you feel like you're around people who are less than ideal, when they're low vibrating, and you're feeling that, all of a sudden you're aware, and you're like, okay, so that's the source. What can I do to change that? And then you're trying to figure out solutions, right? And so the solution for me came through this therapy session yesterday, and I was standing right here. As I was standing, I felt sensation on my body. I felt like I was being stroked on my arm. I felt like a severe back pain. And I felt like my head was being enveloped in a bag of hot air. Best way to try to explain that. After the session, we talked, and she just said, don't speak. Just sit there and enjoy the moment. And I did. And I was just reflecting on what just happened. And it was all that experiencing the quantum entanglement, basically. Experiencing the field that I'm talking about. Experiencing this oneness. This ability to communicate across distance, real time, with people who just wants the best of you, right? She went through my energy centers, my chakras, and she said that I can see that you have a lot of love for others. You don't have a lot of love for yourself. I thought I did. But come to think of it, there has been some issues in that area. And then she's talking about the throat, how I was holding back things, that I wasn't speaking my truth that I wanted to speak, right? I was censoring myself. And I was like, yes, 100%, because I'm under the impression or the fear that if I share what I believe, that what I truly believe, that we are in a system that is so fucked, so riddled with corruption and shit, that it is actually providing a very good foundation for a horrible future for my children. You know, I wanted to speak up. I wanted to say that, all right, I'm seeing this. Knowing what I know about technology, what I've read about history, what I'm seeing in the present and where we're going, this is literally leading up to this new thing. A new thing. Where we're just going to implode. Where either they're going to figure this out or we're going to implode. Right? Prophecies have been written about this. And so I'm thinking, I need to speak about this. And today, after this session, I feel different. I feel purposeful. I feel like it's time to just do it. There are going to be people who's going to just fall off by this. Who's like, another conspiracy theorist. But seriously, when you see people with a suntan formed as a mask, isn't that a problem? When we know that fear is the biggest freaking influence on our immune system, and we don't do anything about it, We just continue in this habitual way of life, just continuing to feed ourselves with bad statistics and death and negativity and just war. I mean, how much shit is going on every continent of the world right now? You can't turn around without listening or seeing something that is horrible. And all of this is happening at an exponential rate. The last 2 years has been kind of magical in a bad sense, where so much has happened that it's inconceivable. And the rich have become billions of dollars richer because all of a sudden people are sitting at home in fear, buying through Amazon, shipping in 10 to 15 hours. Yeah, that justifies everything else that's going on in their environment. There is so much, and I'm not sure how to deal, but I felt like I needed to get this out. And I think it's a shame. It's a freaking pity. It's almost a little bit hysterical that we are able and willing to just renounce our freedoms this quickly. That if we want things to go back to normal, we are so eager to just put this thing in us, for instance. That we don't react to the big pharma owning most of the fucking agricultural land on the planet. Because that makes sense. Marketing being so sophisticated that artificial intelligence is talking to you more than actual people now from businesses. And this is just starting. It's insane. So I'm going to continue to ponder on this. But first, let me take some questions. Nostalgic vibes. Welcome back, Chris. I've missed you. Perk, continue to be... Oh, dude. I love you, bro. I love you, bro. Perk. I've seen a lot of things that has the ability to help, but I'm not sure how to share that either. And a lot of you will know this. Psychedelics changed my life. Let's just go for the fucking throat, shall we? Go hard or go home. All right. Psychedelics in 2018 changed my entire existence. It did so because it opened my eyes to emotions. It opened my eyes to what I was. It opened my eyes to the change of possibility. The possibility of change is probably the word I was trying to look for. But it changed my entire perspective of reality. And as I started to research this and started to get to know this and experience this and really understand this more and more, I saw why it's illegal. And frankly, to be honest, I'm so against the politics of this that is insane. For me, it's kind of and I think I share this with a lot of people. It's, what's the word? Ridiculous don't really count, or it doesn't really cut it. But the thing that, like, people have been pushed into not doing something because a department of authority have said that you're not supposed to pick up things that grows in your garden. Just think about that. How people will not do these things that can change their entire existence. And I'm not saying do drugs, because that would be stupid. You should actually know what you're doing. But they won't do it because someone told them not to do it. But it grows in the ground. There are archaeochemical evidence that it is a part of our evolution as human beings. Yet for the last few decades, it's been illegal because it made people think differently, which is dangerous in our age. It's very dangerous to have free thinkers thinking about how they can become free. Oh, you don't want that. And so, because we are humans, there's a few experiments that support this. The Stanford experiments, for instance, where normal college students were just put into a location or a building, and some of these were guards, prison guards. The other ones were inmates. And the whole point of the project was just seeing what would happen. Would it be able to run? And the guards were given more and more leeway as to what they could do to the students to make them comply. All of a sudden, the power the authority, went to the head of the guards. The students became psychological wrecks. But it worked. The guards, the normal students with the title of the guard, the authority, took things in their own hands and made life a living hell for the other people. Then we have the Milgram experiments, where if enough people do the same thing, you are inclined to do the same. If you walk down the street and one person is looking up, you might look up. If 2 people are looking up, you're about 40% inclined to look up. And if 3, 4, 5, you're everything from 60 to 80% likely to look up. Simply because of indirect peer pressure. What would happen then if you see that everyone else is taking a vaccine? Then, old Milgram, he did something more. He took people into an experiment where a person, a test subject, was instructed to shock a patient. And these shock levels were labeled from mild to more, until severe and then fatal. And they were instructed to push the button every time the person said something that wasn't aligned with the project. And they started to press. And it started with, like, ow, that hurts. And then it went over to, that really hurt. And then it just it developed into screams and shrieks and just death screams, right? But even though the subject didn't want to do this, to inflict pain. Now, they thought they were inflicting pain. There were actually actors on the other side, but for them it was completely real. They didn't want to do it, but they were instructed to do it. And they did it. Once they clicked on that fatal button, they heard the scream and then silence. They literally thought they killed people. And they did it because they were told to. Because they were part of a fucking experiment. And that experiment and that person sitting across the table was enough authority to do something that would kill another person. And here we are. 7 billion people on a planet where most people follow the stream. Most people do what they're told. We're living in a system that we have been conditioned to live in. We're going to school, we're getting a job, we're getting married, we're getting a house with a mortgage, we're doing all the things that we're supposed to do. And of course, while we're doing this, we are keeping updated through news, social media, the government, the system. Our educational system is failing hard. Our mental health system in Norway failing fucking horrendously hard, where people go for decades into treatment and they don't get the fucking treatment because therapists today are more likely to cure or understand the problem rather than helping the patient, giving them pills instead of teaching them how they can do these things. I have no idea how many people I've talked to by now who are on their lowest of low, and they've been through the system, the mental health and everything. They have been through hell in life. And listening to them talk about the system that they've been through, where there's no accountability, there's no support, there's no community, there's nothing to get them through this, other than a few pills that they get addicted to and that they can't get off, and a doctor that is not believing them and just shrugging it off under the table, while they're living through everyday torture and nothing is being done. This is what's happening by following the system. I don't know how many people are suffering, so severely suffering because the system is not working. I lost my family. I lost my daughter and my fiance. Because the system, they didn't like the fact that I didn't have enough, approved income. Literally. I was going through the whole blood clot thing, and they said for 13 years you should get a disability. You should get on disability because there's nothing to do here. I was called a retard in school, and I tried to work. Everything has been testing a system and then being tossed out. The fucking justice system is also a thing that I have a few opinions on, because I was sentenced to complete solitary confinement. Now, in Norway, you're not supposed to be in there for more than 14 days. On complete solitary confinement with no media, no visitation. But if they apply for a new term the day before the old term is up, they can prolong the process. So instead of sitting there for 14 days, I was in there for 3 months. Which is another part of the system. They did this just to try to break me. And they did. They cured my jealousy. They made me face myself. I wanted to snap my neck in the sink. But this is the system that we are looking up to. That is supposed to look out for us. And it's not just locally. Now things are happening globally, internationally. But we have a choice. We are the ones that is actually making this happen. We are the ones that says, all right, you won the election, nothing more to do. We need to raise our voices. We need to say no. We need to say that I'm not going to take the vaccine just because you tell me to. And I'm not saying that you should just listen to what I'm saying. Do your research. If you have questions, any questions, in my opinion, if you have any questions, don't take it. You should take things that is completely safe. You should do things that are completely safe for you. You should live a life that is filled of fulfillment and happiness. Fulfillment. Fulfillment? Well, that's a word. You should be happy. You shouldn't chase happiness, which we are taught to believe is what we're supposed to do. It's insane. It's insane to live in this world. And now, as I've been reading a lot of books, there's something called the curse of knowledge. And I feel that firsthand. I'm talking to people, and it seems like over the years, my vocabulary has been changing, and I'm saying things differently, and I'm using different words. I was about to say my terminology has changed, and just the word terminology is not a word I used before. And because of that, I'm pushing people away. But you guys are still in my life. I still have a very select few people that seems to be growing right now. A select few people that actually know what I'm talking about, that agrees, that sees these things and want to make a change. And together, I believe that we have the ability to do so. I'm not saying just as this tribe, as this FML project and all that. There are people all over the fucking world right now. Looking for answers, looking for how to fix this, looking for something that we can, somewhat of a solution. But they don't know where to turn. So if we come across these people, I believe it's our duty to inform them there is another way. There are communities and stuff all over the world, and we need to kind of get them together, you know? Pretty sure this video is going to be taken down. But fuck it. Alright, let's go. Do your research. Everything is going downwards, but most people don't know it. Exactly. Yes, I love psychedelics too. My man. I love you. This dude. Perk. Weird way to say that in English, but he's an amazing individual. He's one of those people who said no. And then he made his own life. And I'm super stoked for you, bro. Because if people see that this is possible, that they want to, that they are able to create a new life, then it's like this fuel for change in others. Because our mirror neurons, the things that just basically reflect what we see, they won't fire if something is not there. If we don't see it's happening, it's not going to do anything. We need to see proof in the pudding. Which is why I've been trying to work towards something that's going to blow everything out of the water. And I really hope, I can only say I hope, that everything will go as planned. Because if it does, I will be in a position where I can actually go on to not fear the system anymore. To create something that will be noticed by a lot of people. So that we can change the minds that needs changing, that seek solutions. Because right now, being a one-man band on a YouTube channel is really, you know, It's not really the most efficient thing to do, but the people that I've met through this journey, the people that are here right now, I love you. I seriously, nostalgic vibes. Why do I say that? I just read, right? But I love you too, Chris. I'm so honored and blessed that you found this, and that you resonate with this, and that together we're trying to create this change. Because by fuck golly, the world needs a change right now. My children needs a change right now. I'm seeing this every day. I have new reminders that holy fuck, my children is about to grow up in this. What can I do to prepare them? What can I do to empower them? What can I do to fucking prepare myself? What can I do to just... What should I do? Because there's so much to do. I mean, this is a problem that I'm feeling blessed that I have. Because I came from a point in time where I used to sit around every day, all day, playing World of Warcraft, masturbating online, doing all these things that was not really doing anything to my goal, my dreams. I was playing World of Warcraft, what was it, like 70 hours? This was before I had psychedelics, but I remember having a psychedelic trip. I was hallucinating. The walls were fucking melting. I was not there. I was actually picturing... This was... Okay, for those people who play this game, Mist of Pandaria, there is a point in the game where you come to this place which is kind of overrun by this, you know, evil spirit thing. I've never seen it before. This was a brand new game. I had a contest with another guild member, and we were supposed to get to top level the fastest. This is why I kind of went through that horrible shitstorm of a nightmare of getting there. But before I got there, I saw it. I knew it was familiar. I'd been there before, but the game was completely new and I've never played it before. So that was fascinating. If I knew about quantum physics and all that stuff then, I would have had some thoughts. I didn't though. I cracked up a burn and I hit a cold shower just to continue to get... I won. Long story short. Spoiler alert. But that was what I did with my days. I used to play a lot of games, and I did so for hours and hours and hours on end, and I didn't do anything with my life. I even started another YouTube channel called The Sepola, where I just gamed. I sat there trying to make this a job. It was almost my start into this online freedom thing. And here I am today, having thoughts that I really sometimes wish I didn't have, because I'm aware of more things. I see things differently, and I want other people to be aware. Simply knowing that you have a choice and that if something is going horrendously wrong, you can change it. If you're not sleeping, there are ways to change it. If you're thinking negatively, if you're thinking bad about yourself, if you're having automatic negative thoughts, there is a solution. If you want to become healthy, fit, more mentally capable, all these things, there is a solution. It just starts with that one step, that 1% every day, and just doing something instead of just sitting around all day. Listening to content like this, if anything of what I've said in any video ever since I created this, and you resonated with it, and you're like, yeah, then I have physically changed your brain, which proves that it is possible. And because you have this newfound knowledge, you will never be able to go back to the state you were in before because of neuroplasticity. Your brain will grow with your knowledge and your experiences, and you can never go back. Which means that if I play World of Warcraft for every single day for a year straight, I will be no closer to my goal. But if I spend my days reading for 10 minutes on things that really have value towards my development and growth, then I will be in a place within a year where I have completely changed my entire reality. Beware though, because if you start reading like that, you might be consumed. Like, I read way too much, and I think it's the curse. Like, it's a habit, and because it's a habit, I spend too much time reading instead of doing, instead of implementing. Knowledge is power, sure, but it's only potential power until you use it. So that's where I'm at. I'm trying to do every day. I'm trying to spend at least 4 hours implementing everything that I know so that I can get closer to the goal and get to that plan where I can actually make a change. And I want you to see that, because when you see that happening and you know my story and you've seen all these things, you've seen how I speak, you've seen my downs, you've seen my ups, you've seen where I came from. When you see that happening, I am confident that you will see or feel a change, because your mirror neurons will fire. You'll be like, holy crap! And then I'll be able to help more. I look forward to that. 50 minutes. Really didn't think I was going to be able to do that today. All right, Raymond! Dude, you got on the comments. We love that. Yeah, 70 hours. It was not cool. I think it was 70 hours. I'm not, see, it's all a foggy thing. I remember crossing the 48-hour mark, and then I was like, oh my God. Yeah, right? And then, by then, I felt like if I just do some showers and I just do some energy drinks and maybe run around the house a few times, then I would be able to crush it, or just take that one final day too. And what is it? Do they say that it's like 4 days of not sleeping and you'll die? Because I felt like I was close to something, which is stupid, because it was a fucking game. But I understand now. Like, this was a bet, and I'm pretty stubborn when I really get stubborn. But you know when people die because they play Diablo for 4 hours or 4 days straight? I can resonate. I can understand how that is possible. If you have some goals, stupid, irrational goals, that you want to achieve because you want to play a game. Although games are good. There are some games that are good. And I actually miss some of these times where I just gamed. I want to get a little bit back into that, just to use it as a creative outlet. Just use it as a way to step away. But before that, I'm going to go into the mountains. And I want to do stuff in the mountains. I'm actually going to go in there with a knife. I'm not sure if I told you about this, but I want to document that as well. I just want to go into the woods for a month with a knife. Ooh, and that's all I want. Just to get complete mind a reset. I want to go in there and only focus on living. Just focus on surviving. And I think that's going to be doing marvelous things with my entire system. Right. You did the Russian sleeping experiment. Yeah. Yeah. When it's right, bro, it will come. Look at me. You know I start my journey next week. Oh, yes. Raymond is amazing. I mean, he's the one who was here, right? He's the tribe member who was sitting here while we had the stream, and I've been fortunate enough to sit there and talk to this human for many days and experiencing things with him. He actually took me and my daughter to a trampoline park, which was amazing. Thank you for that again, because she's still talking about it. But hearing his story about how fast, how quickly he went from this state of negativity, basically. He started his journey in, like, okay, bro, you have to confirm this in chat, because sometimes I get confused. In May this year, right? You started the journey May this year. He's always been aware of energies, but his real journey started not that long ago, and the freaking progress that this dude has made, it makes my heart sing in really weird tones, which is probably a good thing. You know, because I'm proud of you, bro. I'm so proud of you. But are you living in the mountains right now? I am. I live in the mountains right now. I actually have deer walking around the front lawn. And the front lawn is actually the extension of a field where a horse walks around. And behind the house is just a massive mountain and forest, just deep woods. And yeah, I'm living in the mountains. And I'm going to create what I almost want to start a fundraiser, but I don't want to do anything that will kind of take away from me proving that I did this from nothing, you know? That I've been bootstrapping my way from selling my car in parts to be able to create the dream life. It's almost like I don't want to reach out for help until I've made it. Then I could probably do that. But I want to have a solar panel. I want to create a water a generator, a dynamo, or like a dam that will create power. I'm gonna upgrade this place, and it's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be not upgrade into the modern sense of the world. It's gonna be upgraded in the fact that, or in the sense that I'll be able to take people up to the mountains. We can sit around a campfire in a little gathering house, a long house or something in the middle of the forest, and I'll have some things around the property, like a little guest cabin with just a house or just a bed in it. One cabin, one bed, one window where the horse will come in to eat from a grass thing on the inside of the window, just like the African giraffes that will eat when you're eating breakfast. They will eat through the window. And then I will have a sauna and a cold water pit. I haven't gone further than that. I also have a vegetable garden so that I can just grow my own vegetables. Yeah. So there's a lot of things that is coming. And the studio that I'm creating in the basement, I can't wait to see that. That's going to be amazing. This right here, this office, I mean, I like it. It has a charm. It's basically a utility shed on the porch. And it's pretty damn cozy. I have a coffee station over there. I have a library here. I have my axe. I have some symmetry going on behind me. I'm pretty happy, and we're getting somewhere. So I love it. All right. Some of the things I use most from what I've learned of psychedelics is if you don't like what you see, you can change your perspective. Fuck yeah. Yes. You know, if there's people who would complain about the dark instead of just lighting a candle, you know, sometimes it's really easy. You have to be grateful that you can flush your shit, because sometimes the pipes get clogged. We can always see something from different perspectives that will make us see things a little bit different, just a little different. And that is enough. It's not like just being positive. It's reframing the negative situation into something that can actually benefit you. Yeah, you went through hell, but you learned how to go through hell. You know? All right, I have to go. This was an amazing... I like this. This was a good episode. Thank you for being here. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. To see these videos and to like them and share them, all that stuff. We actually have a little fight going on with the algorithm. Which just it comes with the territory when you're talking about things the way we talk about things. But we're gonna find a solution to that. I'm happy that you're here. Thank you so much for being here. Take care of your freaking family and have a fantastic day. And join us on Thursday when we're gonna do episode 3 of the 100-day challenge review. All right. Peace. See you next time.